excited about where we are, okay, I mean, and what's happening today. I'm sorry, I want to say sorry to the media. Haven't been able to address you or be in front of you. And it's been a busy 2 weeks of fast and furious recruiting. But I tell you what, I think what we did, what this staff did, really, rivals what a 2-minute drill or pressure situation is all about. When you look at this group of recruits, as you go through it, then you'll find depth, length, speed, athleticism, and really more than anything else, character. We need men here at Vanderbilt, men who embody what we're about, and that's working to win championships and looking at what this class was built upon. It looks like a class up front that was put together early. I mean, this class was assembled a while ago, and then obviously, we know about the change of staff and what happens there. But credit to the anchor part of this recruiting class for what they did in sticking with in the process and understanding what it is that Vanderbilt football is.
Can you talk about getting, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, I'm going to go with his last name, Lalo. Probably just butchered it, but getting him, apparently he's the highest rated player that's ever signed with Vanderbilt. How big was getting him to sign today?
Nephi is extremely talented, and you were close, it's Nephi Levi. But he's extremely talented. For him, it was more about comfort. We had pursued Nephi, at Stanford, and through his process, Stanford, Cal, and some other schools, we're recruiting him, and his recruiting changed throughout the process. I think he was looking for a place where he felt comfortable and felt at home, but we had spent time with Nephi. We had a chance to go watch him play basketball as of last week, and to see him on the basketball floor was amazing. He made my ears perk up, and that doesn't happen often. Looking at him, athletic, strong, quick, agile, and extremely good court presence. And that shows on film when you watch his football IQ and how he plays. But, getting more to his recruiting, it was more or less about him feeling comfortable. He spoke with his dad. His dad got him on a plane on a Friday. Nephi was a little reluctant, and because it's so far away from home, and he's a family guy. Got on the plane, came here, and really was a little distant, to say the least. And I think by the end of the first night, within 24 hours of being here, having had a chance to spend time with the recruits here, he felt at home. And I think that's important. He comes from a tight family, they're close, but I think amongst our players, amongst these guys who came in this past weekend, most of whom signed, he felt extremely comfortable, and that was the kick for him. He wanted to feel comfortable. He wanted to be in an environment where he felt that he could do all the things he needed to do for him, but a place that he can add his own twist on how he saw this program being successful. And he's a great competitor, and so I'm thankful. Great player.
Derek, how tough was it for you and your staff to close strong these final few days, the final week, when you're trying to build it back up, but you've still got some decommits happening, and a coach who wants his former recruits to follow him?
It's like any 2-minute drill, man. You're gonna have some pushback. You're gonna face an offside. You're gonna face a left tackle give it up, an edge rush. And what you do is, man, you continue to stay steady in the pocket and find your target, hit your target, and get out of bounds, and then line it up again. And that's what we were able to do. We didn't flinch. We didn't move to the right or to the left. We just stayed the course. And I think again, once you look at what the branding is and what we're trying to do, our focus was pretty exact, and we had to target the right players, the right guys at the right time. And much like anything else, you have to have a little bit of luck, and luck blew our way. So that's that's how it fell into place.
Can you talk about the quarterbacks in this class, and do you consider Monroe a quarterback in that group?
You know, when I look at Monroe, here's what I'll say about him. I think he's one of the most dynamic, players in this class. When you watch him play and when you watch him move, it doesn't matter where he plays. He's going to make an impact. It could be the return game. It could be, as a receiver. It could be as a DB. And it can, be, as a quarterback in some capacity. But, when you see dynamic players who can change games, you don't care. Okay, you want the productivity, and that's what he's a productive player. And when you sit down and talk to him, he's the son of a military man. His dad's in Kuwait, right now. He understands what commitment is. He was willing to commit to the cause, with the full understanding that it doesn't matter where I play, it just matters how I play. And then when you look at Stankiewicz, in terms of what he is, man, he's excellent. Great feet, great arm, can see the field. He comes from good stock. Of course, with his dad having played in the NFL, but he's a competitor. He can hit tight windows. He can get the ball down the field. He's accurate. He extends plays, and I think that's important at the quarterback position. And then when you look at Freeback, you look at his size, you look at the ability to throw from the pocket, you look at his presence, you look at his ability to win. I think when you talk about, in trying to build championship teams, man, you're talking about winners. It's not so much, the game played as much as, the situations that you're in constantly. And he played at St. Thomas Aquinas at a program that's nationally ranked. He's played in front of big crowds. And when you talk about transitioning from high school to the SEC, it may not be the same, but for him, the environment and the type of athlete, very, very similar. So, you're talking about, 3 young men who can impact, in this program, and they're going to compete with the guys that are in this program. And, hats off to the guys in this program as well, because the guys in this program, help get these guys. They saw these guys as winners, okay, and leaders, and they wanted these guys as much as we wanted them. So, hats off to our guys in-house.
Can you talk about one of the local kids, Emmanuel Smith, what you see in him, and then along those same lines, how good of a head start do you think you've got on the local kids for 2015?
Well, Emmanuel Smith is a rare talent. He's long, he's athletic, he's smart. He's intentional. He plays the game with bad intentions, and that's the way we like him. He comes downhill. He's a three-dimensional player. He can play in deep defense. He can run the alleys, and he can get down in the box and play like a backer and match. So when you look at his skill set, a three-dimensional guy is what we look for. I don't see him as a strong safety. I don't see him as a free safety, because offenses attack you based on where your strengths lie. So our safeties are going to be two-dimensional. Okay, they can play strong or free, so we don't talk about strong or free. We talk about right and left. So however they try to match us up, I feel good about his skill set at all times. It's never going to be a matchup problem. And he's going to be successful there, because I've seen guys with his size, speed, and athleticism, play at that position. And I think really when it's all said and done, he's a difference maker. He's a guy that's got high production at his position.
You mentioned you were already going to be hitting the phones talking to the 15 guys. You feel like I got a decent start there?
Yeah, we tried to put this class to bed actually 2 days ago. We've just been constantly talking to these guys about what lies ahead. We moved on to 215. We actually identified the 215s in the state and nationally who we need to talk to. But today we actually got verbal offers out to 15s, and I think it's important. State of Tennessee, we needed to touch our kids here in state, and we did, and we're doing that as we speak. It's important that people know that it hasn't stopped with this recruiting class. It's moved forward. This class is behind us. Now what we have to do is continue to move forward, and those 15 kids have called in. Some of those have called in, and they're excited about where we're at. So it's a good day. It's a good day here at Vanderbilt.